within the nostrils and thus controlling the mind, senses and intelligence. The transcendentalist, aiming for liberation, becomes free from desire, fear and anger. One who is always in a state of is certainly liberated.
Okay, so this is a bit of a jump.
Sorry?
No, that's fine. That's fine. This is a bit of a jump now in the topic. So now we're hearing more about the mechanical yoga process, because actually we're coming up to that. That's what the 6th chapter is going to talk to us about, is dhyana yoga, or it's commonly known now as Ashtanga yoga. So the 8-fold yoga system. We're coming up to that now. So here's the first hint of what the subject is going to be moving into. So this is a mechanical process, adjusting the body in different ways to try to make steps towards liberation. But the main point is that we want to head towards liberation. Now, there are some different processes how you can achieve that. So this is one of them, this mechanical process of, asanas, different bodily postures, and pranayama, breathing, and following different rules and regulations. And bhakti yoga is a process also. And jnana yoga, using our mind, is another process. So there are different processes, but the goal is the same, to head towards liberation. However, now we're in Kali Yuga. So this process of meditation or kind of yoga, because that's what this Ashtanga yoga system, the 8th limb of it, anga means like limb, the 8th limb or part of it is called samadhi. That's the final stage of the Ashtanga yoga system. Starts off yama, niyama, pranayama, asana, like that. So the final one is samadhi, which means like your mind is completely concentrated in a trance-like state on the Supreme, on the form of the Supreme. So this process of dhyana was recommended in a different age than we're in now, Satya Yuga. That's the golden age, where people would be great sages. That was their occupation, you could say, was they were like a sage. They definitely weren't working in offices or factories. Anything like that didn't even exist at that time. So they would just eat roots of trees and berries and so forth like that, and wear the bark of trees and live a very solitary life in the forest. And they would do a lot of this meditation and controlling the body with postures and breathing exercise and so forth, and meditate on God. So this process obviously is not going to be possible in modern day society to follow all those rules and regulations. What's left in Kali Yuga of that is basically mainly a few exercises and a little bit of the breathing pranayama. And they don't follow any of the other rules and regulations, and they don't go to the forest. They're in the cities, mostly people in the cities, of course. But this kind of yoga process, Ashtanga yoga, must be practiced in a very quiet place, otherwise it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It must be in a solitary place and no disturbing things around you. But the beauty of chanting Hare Krishna, which is the process recommended right here now today in Kali Yuga, this chanting process, that you can do in the cities, you can do it anywhere. You can chant Hare Krishna in the forest, it'll work perfectly. You can chant Hare Krishna in the city, it'll work perfectly. You can chant in the house, it'll work perfectly, or outside, or at the beach, or at the office, or anywhere, it'll work perfectly. But this Ashtanga yoga system, breathing, everything, will only work if you're all alone in a quiet place. It'll only work perfectly then. Otherwise, if you do it in the city and, in a gym, go to the gym and do a few exercises, and that's just a show and just to make the body look good and so forth, and to attract the opposite sex. But that's not the real purpose of yoga. The real purpose of yoga is to achieve liberation from the material world. And you're not going to get liberated just from going to the gym and doing stretching exercises and breathing exercises and things like that. That's part of something far greater. But people have ignored all of that now, and they don't even know what the goal is. They think the goal is to make the body more healthier so they can enjoy the senses. What do you think about that goal? Is that a good goal?
No.
Make the body healthier so you can enjoy the body more and enjoy the senses more?
No.
It's good for a short time, but it's not good if we want eternal blissful life.
Abhay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, why is the Bhagavad Gita settled on Ashtanga Yoga? Was that just one of the first styles that, the book goes back umpteen years.
Yeah.
And as you know, there's so many different stems of yoga. Is it the fact that Ashtanga was around for so long? Or was it deliberately manifested out of what it was designed for, was to be closer to God?
Good question. Thank you, Bob. So, why Krishna is mentioning Ashtanga Yoga, especially if he's mainly interested in us developing pure love for him, bhakti. So why is he mentioning this mechanical yoga process? Because we, the souls in the material world, we're at different stages, different levels, just like at school, right, Bob?
Yep.
We're not all at tertiary level. Some of us are at secondary level, some of us at the primary level. So although the goal is to, graduate from school and, get postgraduate or whatever, but you can't just give an education